to HitPoint, an anime news show, a niche news show, a JRPG news show, a show where Baku and I talk about anything and everything that catches our interest and or ire. We broadcast live every single Monday, except for the ones that we don't. At 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll be previewing trailers, talking about rumors, taking a look at some pretty cool looking indie games here in a little bit as well. We'll be talking about all kinds of stuff, honestly. We got a full show today, Baku. It is good to see you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, but your intro there, that was
was
like
a
an
slip up.
80.
I know.
That was like an 85. I don't know.
I know. I was only like Kaioken, not quite Super Saiyan there. Yeah. I'm sorry. Here, let's do it again. Just kidding.
I was ready for you, man. I'm like, let's go. Come on.
No.
Nope. The moment has passed.
Yep. Sometimes you just got to learn to adapt and overcome. And today we're going to be overcoming some pretty awesome news. And we actually got a lot of comments from last week's episode, some that I'd like to go ahead and start with here. Let me switch our... Yeah, that's right. We've got a section change here. There we go. Comments. And I will also say that we have a couple of voicemail. Well, we got a couple of voicemails, one of which we're going to listen to today. So go ahead and lead us off with this first one here, dude.
All right. We've got a comment from Broken1394. Missed the news on Shin Megami Tensei 5 and literally just bought the Switch Premium Edition today. Oh, no. Dope! They said. May have to wait for Vengeance to come out before playing, as that will be worth getting, as I haven't played the OG. Really enjoyed listening to the podcast. Well, thank you so much for writing. Okay, so I'm gonna have to break it to you. The Vengeance also has the OG path, which you can select in the very beginning.
That's true.
So it's not like P5 Royal, where like the thing is like laced into one whole route, if that makes sense. Like in the very beginning, you get to pick the OG route or like the Vengeance route. So that should just be your definitive edition. I don't know.
Yeah, except if you want to like play it with like better frame rates or something, I totally get that too. But there's no reason. Yeah, you're right. There's no reason to like hold off on playing if you just bought the OG version. No reason to hold off unless you just want the better visual fidelity experience, which I suppose is a pretty good reason.
I mean, if you didn't open the wrapper on the premium edition, maybe return it and or sell it. Oh, is it still worth anything? I don't know.
This has been 2 weeks at least, so I don't know, man. It might be beyond the return window at this point. But I will say it does just highlight just one more reason why it stings for like the definitive or the better versions to come out within like, I don't know. What do you think is an appropriate window for a re-release before it stops feeling kind of like we got hosed? Yeah, like an enhanced re-release, like Dragon Quest S 11S, you know, how it has the enhancements, or Persona 5 Royal, which came out, like a few years after Persona 5. Like, what do you think is a good window for them to like wait before releasing an enhanced port? Because I'm like, it feels to me like 3 years is a little bit of a short time window for that.
Yeah, my personal feeling will be one generation. So like
a console generation, so like
PS4, like console generation, not human generation. That's a bit long.
Okay,
that's when remix should come in. But no, I think like if a game came on PS4 and you release like an enhanced version for PS5, with all the DLCs and stuff, that's a pretty fair game, I think. Same gen added stuff to it. I think that's kind of that's
okay. Whoa. Wow. Yeah, I just had like a power flicker or something. Oh geez. Okay, like my whole thing. Wow. Okay. Holy moly. Am I alive? I think I had a power flicker up here. My lights and everything went out for a second. Luckily, I remember we had a power outage another time, and I had like lost the entire stream. I have since put my whole computer on an uninterruptible power supply, so the stream kept going, and so we're still live.
Oh,
But like everything disconnected and reconnected, so hopefully nothing's broken. You're
apparently.
No, I can hear you just fine, and it shows you
Am
in
I?
the Discord as well.
Your video in. Oh wait, sorry.
All right.
I'm reading something else. Robo Baku, AI Baku.
AI Baku. Oh,
I don't know if that's still the case. Am I still muted, guys? Can you hear this?
yeah,
If
everybody,
they don't
let us know. Is
answer,
it still
then-
bad, or is it?
Whoa!
Are we back?
Sounds okay now.
Okay.
Can hear him now, but it's desynced.
Desynced. Okay. Well,
He's lagging. Do you want to restart the?
I think it might just be that regular desync issue that we have randomly with your audio and video.
Do you want me to start a new video ninja then?
You might just refresh it or something, if there's a way, or you could send me a different link. All right. We'll do it live. Now I'm lagging? Oh geez. Oh dear.
Well, let's just finish this comment and you can move on to new comment while I do this.
All right.
Yeah, no, I'd say listen, Broken 1384, if you are listening.
1394.
1394, I'm sorry. If you're still listening, yeah, definitely go for vengeance. Just own that one game and just play that one game. If you still can return the premium edition, definitely do it. Or maybe just sell it on like a secondhand market for roughly about the same price you paid. Maybe just like call it a loss and then just like get the vengeance version. I don't know. That's my opinion anyways.
Awesome. And it looks like everything's fine now according to live chat. So thank you guys.
Everything's fine now? Okay.
Yeah, looks like we're all set. I love it when, problems go away when you ignore them. That's my main strategy for dealing with them. So moving on to the next one here, we got another comment here from DeathProof8732 who says,
hello.
Why have so many channels not been talking about the greatest thing shown, Unicorn Overlord? Talking about that Nintendo Direct. And this is a comment that I also responded to. And I think that the reason we didn't really talk about it last week, or not last week, but the week before last, was due to the fact that there was a trailer shown at that Nintendo Direct, but it didn't really reveal anything new that we didn't already know. Generally, unless we get like, we talk about games when they are first announced, when we find out that they're getting localized for sure, when we get a solid release date, things of that nature. But like an updated trailer or like, hey, there's going to be this cool new character that, like we don't cover a lot of that smaller stuff typically. So that's probably why we didn't cover anything that week. But otherwise we have covered Unicorn Overlord several times in the past. So that's, I don't know about everybody else, but that's why we didn't cover it last week or last time, but we will be talking about it soon. So
you know what? Now that I think about it, I think I might be wrong because it's been a while, but I think we covered Unicorn, the show before Death Proof's comment, skipped it last show because nothing new happened, and now we're talking about it today.
Yeah.
So literally just the one time that they watched the show,
I know.
we didn't talk about the game.
Well, I mean, I think that's probably, that might be why everybody else isn't talking about it all of the time, is because, I mean, there's different cycles for talking about games. Like there's obviously the news things, and then a lot of gaming developers like to, or maybe not their developers, but the marketing teams like to like drip feed information and little things to you so that you like always feel obligated to talk about them. And that's something I learned a lot when I was doing the JRPG Weekly Update as a one-man show a long while back, is like whenever I'd look up like RPG news, it was just diluted with so much like piecemeal information that people were like just drip feeding to the media to like keep a general like base level of exposure at all times, and
Mhm.
it's just such a mess of crud to wade through. So as a
Oh,
result, we came up with some pretty distinct things that we only like to cover when big things happen. Is kind of what I'm getting at.
I like to call that editorial guidelines of
Yeah.
some sort.
Yes.
Yes, that's a fancy way of saying there's some rules to the chaos. Yes.
Well put. Well put.
Yeah. But you know how I think we talked about this before, but you know how like Apple would come up with a new phone and then they'll release like lesser variation and they'll release like new colors and then you're just like, why can't just release all of that at the same time?
Uh huh.
It's the same reason. They're not creating a new product, but they want to stay relevant for as long as they can.
Do you
So they
suppose
spread out these things,
Do you suppose
right,
that might
over
be why
time.
they do like day one DLC and stuff, or like really early on DLC for certain games, is to kind of continue to ride that media wave hype to like sell additional,
Mm.
just to have something in the media?
I feel like day one DLCs is generally frowned upon that it wouldn't be worthwhile.
You would think, but there is a prevailing like notion that any news, even bad news, is good news, right?
I think it depends.
It
I
really
think we
does.
talked about it too. It
You're right.
depends.
We did talk about
Yeah.
that notion as it relates to
Yeah.
like whether it's in favor of like the
Yeah.
consumer or not. So
It
yeah,
depends who's pissed off at you.
exactly.
Yeah. It depends on who you're pissing off. If you're pissing off the fans, no. If you're
Yeah,
pissing off other people to rally the fans to defend you, then yes.
yeah. All right. So
Mhm.
before we dive into that rabbit hole again, we do have another voicemail to listen to. So
Mhm.
I'll go ahead and play that. And if you at home listening would like to join in, leave us a voicemail, you may do so at 785-337-3805, or you can send us a voicemail file to HitPoint at superderekrpgs.com. And here's one that the very beginning, unfortunately, got a little bit cut off by some like lost audio. So I've
Oh.
tried to fix it up a little bit, but I'm not sure who this one came from. So let's try
Okay.
giving it a listen. When I lost my my power, it reset my thing. Hang on a second.
Oh, I was like, is this a silence?
Yep.
Well, thank you,
the
silence,
most
for
the most professional podcast on all of YouTube, everybody.
we're so polished. I love us.
I need a UPS up here apparently.
Mm.
All right. Let's try this in right now.
Guys, I'm recently come up with this cool plan to tackle my backlog of games. I was wondering what you think of it. I got it from this YouTube channel. He made the comment of treating your backlog like a video game rental store, you know, like a Blockbuster. And when he said that, it kind of like resonated with me. And so every week I rent one of my games and I try it out for like 3 to 4 days. If by that time I just am not feeling it, then I return the game and I choose another game the following week. But if I like the game, then I keep playing it until I just get tired of it or I actually complete the game. So anyway, I was just wondering if you guys have your own ideas of how to tackle your backlog. So far it's been going pretty well. I'm doing Legend of Dragoon right now. I'm hoping to tackle a lot of the good games I've always wanted to play but never had a chance to. Great show. I hope to see more from you guys and catch you later. Bye.
So that was a super cool one.
Thank you.
I do have a video where I dove into strategies for tackling your backlog. It's called Beat RPGs and Defeat Your Backlog the Super Derek Way, parts 1 and 2.
Mhm.
And I think that the biggest one that I have that I can say worked the best for me is to just play one game at a time. If you can swing that, or maybe one RPG at a time, and then like mix in other games like platformers or shooters or whatever else to kind of like give you a palate cleanser or something, but only focus on one RPG and try to come back to it and schedule yourself time to play it. Because anything anything not saved will be lost, as they say.
No, that's super smart. And whoever sent us that voicemail, if you are listening right now, please write in the comments just to let us know, because as you can hear, that we couldn't quite catch your name, but thank you so much for sending us that voicemail. Yeah, that was a really good strategy there.
I like
To
the idea of that
treat it
rental
like
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds fun. It's like it's a little make believe. It's kind of cute.
I kind of want to like
And I think it
put in like a
works.
little kiosk in my office and like just scan it in
Exactly,
and scan it out.
exactly.
Like part of me,
That was the mental image that I had when they were describing it. I was like, that's kind of cute.
I
Right?
love
Get
it.
this little rental store at home. I don't think it will work for me personally, because I've got this issue or syndrome called being a streamer.
Yeah.
And so basically, for anyone who has ever streamed and played a game before and having to communicate and chat with Chad, your gameplay will extend by somewhere between 20% to like 100%. Especially if you're very talkative. If you're like me, it's closer to 100%. So like a game that should have taken like 60 hours will take like 100 plus hours for me, for various reasons. And a lot of times I like skipping the audio or like the dialogue, so I just don't really care. But then like chat would get mad, be like, "Oh, come on, don't skip it. The voice acting's so good." I'm like, fine, we'll listen through the lines. And it's like watching a movie with somebody. It's just like you can't just like do like the thing that you want to
I
do.
know
It's
everybody's
like,
getting
"Come
upset with you
on."
because they're like, you're talking during the movie. And like, dude, it's my show.
Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, but so that won't work for me. But
Yeah.
I'll say this. Just in response to the question, I think fundamentally it depends on why you have a backlog to begin with. Different people have different reasons. Some people just take too long, like me. Other people just don't have time to game in general, and yet they keep buying new games,
Yeah.
like me. But yet other people just have commitment issues. Like I know someone who
Like
would
Baku.
just like, okay, fair. If it was entirely up to me, I would play like 3-4 games at a time. But I will try to finish them as long as I don't hate them. I will try to finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people are like, yeah, I'm not feeling it. I don't want to play anymore. Like, even if I'm not feeling a game, I will see to it to the end. How long will that take? I don't know, but I will finish it.
I think it's also really worth noting, and you kind of touched on that too, is that what do you consider like crossing off an item in the backlog? Because like if you play a game and you don't like it, I feel like you should be able to cross it off. Like if Dragon Warrior 2 is on your backlog, go ahead and cross that off right now because it's so broken. Unless you're playing on Game Boy Advance or GameCube. Game Boy Color, because the original NES cartridge is so busted. Please avoid that version. Every other version is fine, but that one.
Yes, just that's just not that one.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. I think if you have no intention to ever go back, you're free to cross it off. When you brought up that question, I thought you meant like replay.
Oh,
like
no.
To what extent do you finish the game? Do you consider it complete?
No, I'm a one and done kind of guy at this point. It used to be back in the day. I was trained by my poorness to play the same game over and over because that's what I could afford to do. Because like, back when mom and pop are like, hey, it's your birthday. Here's one game. See you next year. Like, okay, cool. This is my game. I am going to play my game forever now. By the end of the NES, I had like 6 games maybe, and that was probably a lot compared to a lot of other people. And so you had to like get to like really know those games. Nowadays, I'm an adult. I have disposable income, and I get to like buy the stuff that I would like to play. And as a result, I have poor impulse control and a backlog. So
aren't games cheaper too? Like with adjusted
for inflation.
Value? Yeah, inflation. Games are cheaper too. Like they used to be more expensive.
All right, I'm gonna. I think I've brought this up once before, but let me do a little thing here.
Are you doing a poll?
No. I'm gonna ask you
No.
a question.
Okay.
In a moment. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm looking up some information real quick.
You're gonna ask me a question based on like adjusted value? Is that
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, I had an econ background, doesn't mean I just know these things.
I know. Okay. So
Okay.
Mhm. Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
How much do you think the MSRP of Chrono Trigger would be in today's money, adjusted for inflation?
Well, how much was it back then?
Back then,
Uh-huh.
$80.
$80 US?
Yeah,
Holy, even the sticker price is higher than games today.
I know.
Wow. Wow. Okay. And it came out on what year?
It came out in 1995.
Okay, so the 80s is about triple the value.
Oh my God! Hold on.
What?
Happy Chrono Trigger Day, everybody! It came out
Wait,
on March 11, 1995.
What? Today is Chrono Trigger Day?
Holy cow!
Wow. Hey, happy Chrono Trigger Day, everybody. That's
Wow.
cool.
Welcome to Now in the 90s.
Okay, so it's been what, about 20 years since it came out? No, 30 years? 30 years. 30 years. So 40 years ago is about triple the price. So I want to say 80 today's dollar probably 190.
Not quite, but 160.
Not quite.
161.
160.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So imagine spending $160 on a video game today, and it was a 25-hour experience.
Wow.
You would have to unlock all those endings to justify it. So, yeah, just for like a little bit of context and like what it was like in the 90s.
Mhm.
Then again, people also had a bit more disposable income than they do today, relative, just
Mhm.
based off of like how much housing has gone up over
Yeah.
time and such. But yeah, it's
That's
pretty nuts.
crazy. Wow. I learned something new today.
Yeah, I learned that Chrono Trigger came out 30 or 29 years ago. No, 29 years ago today. Holy cow.
And it was $80 sticker price.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I thought it was going to be like more or less 60, like maybe 70, but not 80.
It was more like the Wild West back in those days, especially on cartridge-based media where you had the flash cartridges or the flash ROMs that were they were a lot more variable in price, and so they would pass those costs onto the consumer as the games ballooned in price. So RPGs used to cost a lot more. Yeah. So like whereas like a Mario game would probably be like closer to like 50.
Did I tell you I have a business strategy class, and then we had a very healthy conversation about the console war, especially in the PS3 era. That was super interesting.
Really?
But well, I can tell you about it later.
Yeah. We should probably
Or
move on.
if anybody would like to hear about it, maybe we'll talk about it next time.
Yeah. So
let us know in the comments.
yeah, thank you so much for that awesome voicemail. Led to a really fun discussion. Let's go ahead and move on to our next section, which is going to be updates to previous games. So like updates and DLCs and such.
All that fun stuff. Let's start off with this breakout hit that no one expected. Cygames Granblue Fantasy Relink. Cygames just announced that various free and paid DLCs are coming for the game. But we'll only focus on the free ones, not because we're cheap, but because the free ones are the ones that are interesting. Let me explain. The paid ones are all just like, extra items to help your game go along. So it's like, it's whatever, which I kind of respect them for. Like the paid stuff are just kind of like throwaway items to make your game easy if you feel like doing it. But the free ones are like the content stuff. So not the other way around. So on March 14th, they're going to release a new quest called The Final Vision. So that's going to be like one of 3 DLCs in a roadmap. In April, they're going to release 2 playable characters. And I'm going to butcher these names because I have no idea how they're pronounced. But it's Seraphon and Twigan. Is it Twigan? Tweyen, Twayen. It's got to be some language.
Maybe like Twayen. I don't know.
Maybe Twayen. Yes. So, and then last but not least, in May they'll have one additional playable character named Sendophone. So pretty cool. We do have a trailer for just the final vision, which is the DLC that's coming out in 3 days, and it's free. We can take a look at it.
Okay, let me pull that up here.
I haven't streamed in so long that like you can't talk on a mic.
That looks
Yeah,
pretty cool.
no one expected this game to sell that many. But then like I think Pal's World came out as like the even bigger like surprise hit, right? But
yeah,
you know, if
but
Pal's
this
World
did
didn't
super
happen,
well. Yeah,
this did way better than I think even the developers thought would happen. And mainly because this game series was based on like a mobile game, and not even one that was particularly
like it's kind of a multimedia
popular.
franchise at this point, though, isn't it?
Oh, it absolutely is, because it
like,
has an anime, it has the mobile game.
It's got it's also got a fighting game series now, right?
It has the fighting game series, yes. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. So I think they did super well. They took a long time to develop this game, but I feel like they did the game justice for what it is. Anyway.
Nice.
Their first like standalone RPG that isn't premium, I think they did a admirable job. Yeah. So again, that's coming out in just 3 days, on March 14th, and then there are 2 more DLCs coming out in April and May, respectively.
That's pretty sick. I think that'll go a long way, like the free DLCs. I hope that'll go a long way toward the people who are saying that, like, oh, you could beat the game in like 10 hours or whatever. So
I guess I'm not playing the game until May.
Yeah, may as well wait a little longer.
I looked at my schedule. Yeah, May sounds about right.
All right. So next up, we got something from NeoWiz, who have announced that they'll be adding a new DLC pack for their rhythm game, DJMAX RESPECT V, or is that 5?
5.
5. That will contain 10 songs. 10 songs, and you're like, why are we talking about this? It's because they're Falcom songs from East and Trails. Happy Pi Day on 3.14. All right, enjoy that, guys. Some classic Falcom goodness coming to DJMAX RESPECT 5.
Respect. All right. The next one is pretty fun. So Bandai Namco announced that the Hololive VTuber Minato Aqua would be featured as a playable character in Star Wars Online Last Recollection with the free update to version 1.15. So Aqua is a Hololive VTuber. She is like famously a huge fan of the Star Wars Online series, which is pretty cool that Bandai Namco decides to put her in as a playable character. But not only is she a playable character, she has like a mini campaign, and also she voices the character, and it's free. That's the important part. It's free. They could have charged for it, but they didn't. It's free. So in order to recruit Aqua, you have to find her in Trading Street after the main quest in Chapter 3, and then just complete her really quest, and boom, there you go. You get to have an additional playable character. And I think she also comes with like all the extra scenes and stuff, just like any other playable characters in there too. So it's not like a a cheap like, oh yeah, reskin, here you go, there's a character. Like no, they written new lines, they written a new quest, they recorded all her lines. So it's just like a full-fledged character you get to play in the game. So much respect to Bandai Namco, always. Regardless of what kind of content it is, I just feel like when a company is willing to do these free updates, more power to them. So check it out if you haven't done so already, and you are a Hololive fan. Star Wars Online Lost Recollection is already available everywhere.
Baku, I've had a brainwave. I think I figured it out finally. how Super Derek RPGs can have his own Super Derek RPG.
Wait, what?
I just need to become a VTuber and also incredibly successful.
I
And
mean,
that's it. That's all there is to it.
I know a guy. If you wanna get a model done.
Okay. Cool.
Let us know in the comment if you want to see a Super Derek VTuber model.
Oh my god.
Oh, I want to see this. Oh, I want to see this.
All right. And then last but not least, we have Persona 3 Reload that is getting a little bit of an update here. Atlus have announced during their recent Xbox partner preview that Persona 3 Reload will be getting a paid DLC called Episode Aegis in September that will include the answer from Persona 3 FES.
Yes.
Which is, honestly, we kind of called it. I think that there were some rumors that were going around about that, and it all kind of jives. Now, this is kind of a divisive topic, I think, because some people think that it's kind of shady, but, you know, and I cannot completely disagree, but I will say what does soften the blow somewhat is knowing that this second campaign was initially released as like its own separate thing in Japan, as opposed to being bundled in with FAS. So as a result, I don't feel quite so bad about it, but I know that others are a little bit salty. Let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer though, because this looks pretty cool.
I think it beats them releasing like Persona 3 Reload FES in like 6 months.
Right?
I wish.
Yeah, this does beat the alternative. I will say that Metis, character that is exclusive to the answer, is a pretty fun character. She's kind of neat. On the other hand, I hate the rest of the answer.
I heard
hope
it
that they
wasn't
fix it.
great.
I don't honestly, I don't even know what they could do to fix it, because a lot of what I had problems with had little to do with the gameplay and most to do with the character development, or rather walking back all of the character development of everybody. Super frustrating. Maybe I'll change my mind if Atlus sponsors another video though.
Did you hear that, Atlus?
No,
Did you hear that?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, I like what I saw so far. I hope they will make some changes. I know, because this will, if I do play this would truly be the only thing that I have not.
Wave 3, Wave 1 is
of the expansion pass.
Oh
yeah. So they have an expansion pass, and then they have like Wave 1, Wave 2. Yeah, see, it's just nothing. It's just BGM. And then Wave 2 is like uniforms. Like, I think the Velvet Room uniforms.
Okay,
yeah,
so they're kind of like
yeah,
they're kind of
that thing.
Yeah,
that we talked about earlier.
Okay, yeah.
How to stay relevant over time.
100%. Okay.
Drift feeding you with DLCs and drift feeding you with news. And staying on the news cycle for as long as you can.
One of these things is not like the others.
Okay, now do you understand why we don't talk about a thing all the time when there's like a small news? Like, I'm not gonna come back and be like, hey guys, let's talk about P3 again because they are releasing BGMs. Woo! And then like next month, like, hey, we're talking about Persona 3 like again because they're releasing new costumes.
It's one thing if like you are a publisher of like a online magazine or something.
Yeah.
And like you just put out a little
article
blurb.
Is whatever.
Yeah, a little article, sure, whatever. But I'm not going to put out like a video every week talking about it.
We don't have the kind of time to do that.
Heck no. All right, we do have some stuff coming out this week though, that or one thing rather. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, it's not coming out this week, but it came out already.
Oh,
and so so just a little disclaimer for everyone: there are no new releases this coming week. I'm so sorry. Come back again next week for like 4 new releases though. But we do got to talk about the game that we didn't cover last show or last week, really, because we didn't have a show last week, which is Unicorn Overlord,
Hey,
only the
you got a
best
copy.
game from the. Oh my God, it's from the presentation.
Oh, hang on, do that again. Let me show. Here, there we go. Look at that.
Whoa,
Full screen Baku. That is
Overlord.
absolutely okay. That's cool. All right.
It's actually really cool. They did a really good job with the limited edition. Just so they know that we're not skipping the game because we hate it. I mean, I bought this with my money. This is not sent to me, okay? Atlas did not send me this. I bought this with my own money because I believe in the game, but also because Vanillaware is quite nice.
Heads up, everybody. That was sent to Baku by Amazon after he sent Amazon a lot of money.
This is GameStop. But yeah,
GameStop. Okay,
close enough. Yeah. I don't know why I bought it from GameStop. Anyways, so if anyone's ever played Ogre Battle before, then you would be pretty familiar with the way that this game plays. It is a real life strategy in like a battle stage, right? Where you can move your squats around through the map to capture the post, so to speak. So you send them to different like enemy castles and you capture them and fight whatever enemy stationed there, et cetera, et cetera. That component is real time, right? Whenever like two units collide on a map, they enter this little like battle sequence. And however you set up your squad will determine how they go about attacking on what range and etc. So it's pretty interesting. It's a pretty unique like battle mechanics that we haven't really seen since like games like Ogre Battle. It's a little old school, but I like what they did with it. They are completely like redoing this for like to be more palatable in 2024. So I thought that was super cool of them to kind of like bring back the old school but make it relevant, right? That's how that's how I feel like all the retro like inspired games should try to do. Like figure out what works and then make it palatable for like the today's age and not just like repeat and copy whatever it just was and think that it'll work. Like that's not how it works.
People I mean, sometimes it works.
Name a thing that's new and not a remaster. Name a thing. Oh, I need to hear this.
So I was gonna say Sea of Stars.
Okay.
I think though they did change up enough.
They absolutely changed up.
They changed up a lot. That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say that because it did employ a lot of things that were one to one, but they didn't stop there. So never mind.
Yeah.
I retract my statement.
And that's exactly what I'm saying, though. Like Sea of Stars, the perfect example. Like they took what worked, they understood what worked. It wasn't just a mere copy. And then whatever they felt like needed changes, they made meaningful changes, and they released just a brilliant game that made sense. And it's not just a product of the bygone era, right? So I respect that. And I feel like Unicorn Overlord, it's more or less that same deal. They took what they really studied it. They know what was so brilliant about it. They take that formula and then they changed it up so that it's, you know, this amazing looking game, well packaged. This game features 60 playable characters and over 60 classes of units, which is quite a bit. Ask anyone who plays strategy RPG. Let's take a little trailer because they do have a launch trailer. That we
all right, we'll pull that up here.
People of Cornea are suffering, crying out for whatever help will hear their pleas.
God, this game is
I know.
beautiful.
Holy cow, man.
Oh.
That, and I owe it to my mother to see them safe.
You know, God.
You've quite the grand vision for yourself.
This is like the counter example. Whenever I mention like paper doll aesthetics that just don't work, like this is the counter example of like if you put in enough work into that style, you can make it incredible. The problem is that like most people who do that paper cutout style like stop after like the first drawing. This is beautiful and I love it. It's not just like, this is like fully animated. Holy cow. I love it.
They got this unique aesthetics that they can make it work. So like 13 Sentinel is like a futuristic looking game.
Yeah.
This is obviously not. This is like middle age and like, you know, knight and magic kind of deal, like fantasy setting.
Yeah.
Still works. It's just when it's great art, it's great art.
And this is great art.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my, like look at that. Like even the cooking looks incredible.
They are like, okay, I think P5 is one of the best looking like UIs that I've seen in like very stylish UI.
Very avant-garde for sure.
Yeah, I feel like Vanillaware is like the only other company that I've seen where like they spend so much time on their UIs.
Oh man.
Like all the little detail.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. You have to play a Vanillaware game to like understand what I'm saying too. Like it's hard to explain. Like you can pick out all the little artistic detail in there, and there's like a good reason why they did it. You know, you can tell that they've spent a lot of time mulling over design decisions.
Just
everywhere.
painstaking.
Yeah.
Art. Oh, just gorgeous.
It is a work of art. It is not put together like just for the payout, right?
Yeah.
So this game is immediately available for PS4, 5, Switch, and Xbox Series. And yes, for anyone who is asking, this is the limited edition box. You don't. I was about to say you don't have to expand my window.
Nope, I do.
Here you go. This is indeed. It comes with the card game, and it's quite nice. I bought this day one because when I saw this, I was like, done deal. Give it to me. I don't even know what this game plays like, but I don't care. I didn't even know what the game was about.
Yeah.
Actually,
I still don't know. It's just it looks good though. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was going to be like a tactical RPG. We just saw the art.
Oh yeah.
When in the initial release and on day one, I'm like, done. Just send it to me. I don't care. So I should bring this up too, and this is related to what we're talking about with the way in which they create this game. It's very different from like a corporate-owned game developer or studio, I think. And here's the reason why. Okay, well let's just bring this up because it's related news. A couple of days ago, Vanillaware CEO George Kamitani tweeted that the company ran out of development funds for Unicorn Overlord, and he had to pay out of pocket to complete the game.
Wow.
Okay, and you've gotta like almost remember that they are not exactly like a corporate developer. They're not a Square Enix. They're not a Bandai Namco. Even though they mess with the best of them. Okay, they're not an Atlas. Okay, they're not a Bandai. They are relatively small, and the CEO is not at all fiscally responsible. Wow. I gotta say.
Well,
however, I mean, look, if he's he wouldn't run out.
But he took personal responsibility when
he took personal responsibility,
and that's pretty sick.
That's still good. But more importantly, he took creative responsibility.
Yeah.
Right. Like he's creating not just him, but like his entire office, his entire company, like takes great pride in the product that they produce, and it's not, again, a thing that's rushed out the door. It's not a thing just to make the money, move on to the next thing. They spend years and years crafting this experience, going into the negatives because they believe in it. The artistry that goes into this. This is the kind of games that we would love to see more of. Like, so
this is
seasoned,
an artisan game.
Yeah, I would say so. Because we always talk about like indies, having that creative freedom and they have all these bright ideas, but then they don't have like the money.
Yeah.
Whereas like corporates kind of on the opposite end, they play everything super safe.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they don't make like, don't shatter like expectation. As long as it's good enough and it sells, that's all that really matters. This is somewhere in the middle where they have more funding than a typical indie studio,
Yeah.
and more connection.
They're an
because
indie
you've got
who's been
Atlas.
around the block a few times.
Yes,
And
but at
and
the same
has-
time,
yeah.
they don't have that like corporate overlord and stakeholders telling them, "Oh, you better come out by now, otherwise we're gonna lose money." You know, like this is it. So if we want to see more games like this, may I plead to everyone to try and support these endeavors, and that's the reason why I didn't care and I bought this day one, because I knew that this is the situation, and I want to pay with my. I want to.
You raise a really
wallet.
good
Yeah.
argument, and
Yeah, if you want to see more of this, vote with your wallet.
yeah,
Tell people that you want to see more of this.
I'll probably have to snag a copy of my own here, actually, because that
Yeah.
I think you've sold me on it. Not just because like the game looks cool, but because you're right. This is the sort of company that I want to throw my money at. So
Yeah.
well done.
Falcom, more or less the same way. I feel like bigger company, but
Mhm.
more or less the same way.
Yeah. All right. So that about does
right.
it for the games that are coming out. Well, that came out last week. But we have some new announcements to get through.
Not even halfway done,
I
guys.
know, guys. This is a long episode.
It's a long show.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be good though. Starting with Synduality Echo of ADA of American Disability Act. No. Synduality Echo of ADA or ADA. Okay,
Ada, I don't know.
ADA. I don't.
Mhm.
So,
Ada.
Bamco, Bandai Namco, have announced that their extraction shooter, Synduality Echo of ADA of ADA, will begin closed beta on the 28th of this month through April Fool's Day, the 1st. Sorry, whenever I see April 1st, it's just like that's April Fool's Day.
Yes.
Anyone who is interested in participating can sign up at the official website. Beta will be held for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series platforms, and on Steam. We also got a trailer for it as well. So let's check that out.
I've actually gone and signed up because I just want to see what the game looks like. I'm actually quite interested in the art direction.
So what is an extraction RPG? What was it? Extraction-based shooter?
Extraction shooter?
What is that?
I
What
think extraction,
even is that?
think Armor Core. I
What
think.
even is that?
And I'm waiting, and I'm just waiting
Okay.
for people to like scream at me in chat for not knowing what it is. Truly,
It looks neat.
but I'm not seeing. I think Titanfall. They say.
Yeah. All right. Well, so remember, guys, that we do say that this is also a niche news show in addition to RPGs. I don't know what this is, but it do look niche though.
I've been told that there are RPG elements in this game, so you
Oh.
do walk around and explore and
Okay.
yada yada. So
All right.
damn, the music is an EDM concert.
I was gonna
basically.
say this is taking me back.
It's an EDM concert, guys.
This is taking me back to like 2015, guys.
Oh jeez. There were days when I go to raves. I think it's Ada. I think it's
Okay.
Ada. Or Ada. Yeah.
Ada. Something I don't know.
Ada. Yeah. Okay.
Ada.
Ada. Oh my God. If you know, you know. Yeah. I signed up for it because I thought it looked pretty cool, but we'll see how that plays.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Next up, KU. If you have never heard of this fellow or this person before,
Is that the bald guy in the kids show?
The bald guy and the kid. Wait, what? kid
Caillou?
show? Oh, that's that's a different thing. This person's name is KU, like K-A-Y. The creator of the hit fan game Holocure surprised us on Twitter with a new game that they have kept under wraps until now. It is another Hololive fan games, and this time it is a side-scrolling multiplayer beat 'em up game called Holo Break. The X in there is apparently silent. While Holocure is free and will remain that way, it is unclear whether or not this game will cost any money. But this is an official fan game collaboration with Covercore, the owners of Hololive, and it will be published under the Holo Indie brand. We do have a short trailer for it, so let's take a look.
All right, let's give it a go. We'll give it a little gander here.
I think this is a pretty interesting avenue. Let me explain this. Because I see this as like a new trend that's coming, and it may affect how other games may be developed. Like now companies that don't specialize in games that have like significant amount of IPs like under them may look to this model, if it works out, where they effectively work with like indie developers and provide them with assets and certain rights to IPs, and then they can develop the game and they'll take a share of the profit. Instead of like deferring to big studio or deferring to themselves to create the games based on their IP. I think it's an interesting partnership that is starting to take form in this space.
I was waiting for like the gameplay trailer to show me what the game was about, but
that's just a short teaser. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, but it is a multiplayer beat 'em up game. It looks pretty interesting. But yeah, I think it's an interesting. Someone said Toho model. In some way, yes. In some way, no. So Toho model is more like you can use any of the assets that I've created for free as long as you abide by certain rule, like namely like no nudity and stuff, because that's just the creator's wish, and people are very good about respecting it. This is a little different. This is more like a for-profit venture where they will subsidize you with some amount of money. They will provide you with, you know, maybe they have like talents who work under them. They can lend some voices and make it feel like a fan game plus, you know, because fan games would just be like me making a game, no affiliation. If I can maybe grab some sound clips, but they wouldn't be like recorded sound clips for my purpose.
Right.
It would just be like random sound clips that I can find, and it will be completely free, and it has to be completely free. This is different. This is more like you can charge under our label. We will lend you resources. We may even subsidize part of your development. But you will do what you do best, which is creating games, and we'll do what we do best, which is managing our talent and doing literally anything else.
Yeah. What was there was a recent game that got shut down. There was there were several, but there was a fan game that recently got shut down by, was it Square Enix or Nintendo or something?
A game that got shut down.
A fan game that was gonna be coming out, but then they're like, no.
Shut down.
I don't.
Why does this sound familiar?
Because it happens every year. Like it's an annual thing. I think we talked about it. Our episode was titled "When Will They Learn?" and it was all about when will fan developers learn to not announce games before you release them if you're gonna do stuff like that.
I know there was a Bloodborne racing game.
Yeah, the Bloodborne kart
shut down.
That
didn't get shut down per se. He kept the game but changed all the characters, so it's no longer
changed out
Bloodborne.
the assets.
Yeah. So it's still releasing. It's just not Bloodborne kart anymore.
Yeah, and
but I feel like there was another one. Yeah,
there are so many others. But anyways, imagine if in those circumstances, say the Chrono Trigger remake that somebody was doing back in 2005, if instead of Square Enix being like, no, shut down, they said, hey, that's pretty cool. Here's some money, and here's Tetsuya Nomura. Like they just like threw some stuff out there. Yeah.
No, I think this is super awesome. Just realizing the power of like indie and fan feel content is more grassroots, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, like
it's pretty neat.
There's fan support already.
Like licensing the IPs out to indie developers for that's neat. That's super cool.
Yeah. So and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about it, other than me just being a Hololive fan and I'm like trying to spread the love, and also KU is pretty cool. But the more important thing is I feel like this model could be the future. You may see more of this, especially for IPs where the IP holder don't have ways to create games themselves.
Yeah.
Although a lot of anime like houses, like they own the anime IP, they own the manga IP, but they don't own anything. They don't have like ways to create games.
Yeah.
Right?
Obviously, they would have to go through some process of like vetting the developers to make sure that
Yeah.
they're not going to put out something that's going to like destroy their reputation.
It will be all in the clause,
Yeah.
many clauses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Final
But it
review
could
sign
work.
off and all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff, I'm sure. But
It could definitely work. So
for
yeah,
sure.
it's gonna come out sometime this month. By the way, this game, we'll see more soon. They're really good about giving you just enough to get you wanting the game, but also not so far out that's like 7 months from now, right? It's like it's literally just later on this month they'll release it. So we'll see what that looks like.
All right.
Yep.
So next up, Reika Studios announced a new indie creature collecting RPG called Home of the Yokai, where the player will play as a yokai keeper whose mission is to maintain harmony between humans and yokai. While the creature collection aspect may be pretty similar to the likes of Pokemon, the battle system is completely different, and we've got a trailer to showcase that difference. Any minute now. There it is.
Yes.
Look at that.
Yeah, it looks really cool. So all the yokais, based on yokais, which are like Japanese folklore mythical creatures, if you will.
Sure. Yeah, it's a bunch of like Japanese chupacabras.
Basically. But they evolve, or I don't know what's the evolve equivalent in this game. I don't want to say evolve, but yeah, they have but this is the battle. You know,
Okay.
it's not like the 1-to-1 and like you just
scale
use the
battles.
skill. Yeah, this is kind of cool.
It almost looks like it could be like tower defense or something.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
The visuals are very pretty. It does have a bit of that paper doll aesthetic that I'm not a super big fan of, but it doesn't look like
they have
it's done. It looks like it's nicely done.
It's got
and it's small enough that it's fine.
It's got what's the word that I'm going for? It's got a fairy tale book kind of vibe. So
yeah, like a pop-up book kind of where everything's kind of paper. Everything looks like a paper cutout. So as a result, like the characters don't look out of place. Yeah.
It becomes more of a stylistic choice versus a like
financial one.
Yeah, a financial one. Yeah. So now whether or not it is truly a financial choice, as long as it doesn't look like it, that's all that really matters.
Yeah. Well, this looks pretty dang cool. All things considered, and it looks like it's coming out on the 10th of July, coming to PC via Steam.
All right. Next up, we've got Idea Factory, who just announced the international release date and details for the upcoming Neptunia game called Neptunia Game Maker Revolution, the spin-off game where players will play as older Neptune, who's an alternative version of the main character we've seen from the main series. So this older Neptune is actually not like just a grown-up version of the Neptune that we used to see, but rather it's an older version from like an alternative universe who's like a wholly different like being. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to
alternate
explain.
universe Neptune.
Yeah, they both exist. Their personalities just ever so slightly different, but they're not the same person. It's not like past future self kind of deal.
Gotcha.
So this game is kind of interesting because this game series, not this particular game, but the series itself centers around a character named Neptune who is supposed to be representing like the Sega game console. I forgot which one. Sega.
Well, the Sega Neptune, which was gonna
was
be
it
like the
Neptune?
Saturn, right?
Oh, I forgot.
It's
Yeah,
like a follow-up
but
to the Saturn, but they renamed
I
it or
think
something. I
so.
don't know.
I think so. So she's supposed to recommend Sega. She's supposed to represent Sega, and then her three other like goddess countries in this like game industry world where they're constantly competing, and that's where the whole basis of the world comes from.
Mhm.
It's like it's Nintendo, which you have like the Wii and the what have you, and then you have Xbox, and then you have Sony, and then you have Sega. So these four nations are in this console war, right? In the
Mhm.
game industry, which is the world. It's a lot of fun. It plays on a lot of these tropes. This time, Neptune will travel with three other goddesses that aren't Sony, aren't Nintendo, and aren't Xbox. These three goddesses' name is Pipe, Jaga, and Redio. What do you think these three quote unquote failure console goddesses are named after? What do you think?
I
Derek?
wrote down 3
Yes.
because when I was trying to figure this out, I was like, they're a stretch, but I was thinking Pippe. I was thinking the Apple Pippin.
Yes, it is the Apple
I
Pippin.
was
Okay.
leaning toward the Apple Pippin with that one.
Yes,
Okay,
you'd be right. Uh-huh.
Jaga, which is Jagaa, sounds kind of like the Atari Jaguar.
It is. All right. And what do
No.
you think Radio is?
So, I mean, it sounds like a weird like way of saying like video, but it's not. I don't think so. I think it might be the Wii U, but I don't know. Okay, all right. I got one wrong. What was it supposed to be?
Do you want to take two more guesses? Or you
Oh,
just
two
want me to
more
tell you?
guesses. Oh,
You get two.
Okay.
You get three guesses total.
Okay,
each.
okay.
Okay.
So radio. It sounds. It's probably something weird. It's gotta be something really weird.
I mean, if it's like an obscure failure of a console, then yeah, it's gotta be.
I wonder if it's like
pretty
a
weird.
Japanese exclusive failure console, though. That's my.
I don't know if I thought they had it in the States. It might be
Um,
Japan only.
Yeah,
I played it, but
I'm drawing a blank. But what you got? What is it?
it's actually 3DO.
Okay.
Ah.
Yep. The 3DO was definitely a thing here in the States. It was. I actually wanted a 3DO just so I could play Lucian's Quest. It's the only RPG. It's the only one on the console, so it's hard to really
Justify the cost. I thought it was
Exactly.
really expensive too, wasn't it?
It's not cheap.
Yeah, I thought it was like $600.
Yeah, and so is Lucian's Quest. So it's like, do I want that or Panzer Dragoon Saga or how about neither?
I prefer just cash, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is
Emulation.
pretty cool. Emulation. Yeah, this is pretty cool. The failure console goddess, and we do have a trailer that we can look at
Okay, let's
just
give
so
that
people know what
a
game we're talking
look.
about.
All right, here we go.
Yes, this is older Neptune.
Sick motorbike.
Taller, long hair, less annoying. And then the three failure goddesses in the back. The failure consoles. I like that they're keeping with the theme. I do hope that they will change up the gameplay. I see a lot of potential from like this game developer, which is Compa Heart. They
Uh-huh.
do have a good amount of
Is that
fan
the
service.
Oh,
That's
man.
just in by their nature.
Sure.
But their more recent games like Death End Request and stuff, they actually are really good games that are just really good games. And I almost feel like they're insistent to have these like fan service and or maybe just reluctance to go full on into developing a very serious game to be taken very seriously is like holding them back because man I still sing praises to Death End Request anytime. So yes, from the same studio as Death End Request.
Rad.
Yeah.
All right.
All
So
right. And that's gonna come out sometime in May for PS4, 5, and the Switch.
Sweet.
Yes.
So it was recently Mario Day, March 10th, and Nintendo gave us the release date for the remastered version of Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door that they had initially announced and unveiled back in September of last year.
Yes.
And we have a trailer for it as well, so let's check it out.
Yes. I still think this game looks incredible.
Dude, this game was so much fun. The original release.
I may just play it now because I was very much like in the not Mario phase.
Oh,
but
yeah,
with
yeah.
like the recent like RPG remake and this.
I think
feel
we
like
all
it's
had
high time.
I feel like we all had that not Mario phase.
I feel like it's high time to come back. This game looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you saying about paper cuts, paper dolls?
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's a choice. That's for sure.
It's a choice. Yeah.
I kind
Boy.
of dig it, and this is such a fun game. I actually recently played a little bit of. Was it this one or was it? Oh, it might not have been this one. Was this? I played Thousand Year Door. No, Thousand Year Door was the Wii one. There was another Paper Mario. Was this the 64 version or was?
I have no clue, honestly, because was
because the GameCube
not
one was
Mario.
great. The GameCube was great, and so was the 64 releases. I can't keep them straight anymore. But after that, I didn't really care for them. This was super fun though.
I mean, say what you want about Nintendo, man. This is quality stuff. Oh my god, this game looks phenomenal.
Yes, dude. I am so happy to see more Mario RPGs getting like remade and re-released because when the developers behind the Mario and Luigi stories went under, I was really concerned about losing yet another RPG developer and like franchise entirely as a result. Yeah, I think this was
no worries. Nintendo knows the value of it now, and they know it sells, and they'll never let it go again.
Oh, is there more?
Until such time that it doesn't
I think this
sell.
was the GameCube version. That's right.
Oh yeah.
I think this is the GameCube one. Yeah. But they should do the 64 version soon too. Why did they skip the 64 version? Or is
I have no idea.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. Anyways,
All right.
they are regardless super fun. You can skip the whole one. Anyways, that's coming out May 23rd for the Nintendo Switch exclusively.
Nice.
Who would have guessed?
Who would have thought? Or the Super Nintendo Switch? Am I right?
It could be the Super Nintendo Switch. I mean, eventually. Because we all know that the Super Nintendo Switch will be backwards compatible with the original Nintendo Switch.
Absolutely.
And we all also know that it's also called the Super Nintendo Switch.
Absolutely. The
100%.
100%.
Also, we all know that I'm just pulling this out of my butt. So, next one. What you got?
All right. Binary Haze. It's just announced that their newest title, Ender Magnolia Bloom in the Mist, will launch in early access for PC via Steam. The early release will only feature one village in the first 4 areas of the game. The company plans to have the game remain in early access for about 6 months to a year while taking in user feedback.
Okay.
At release, the game will be made available also on PS4, 5, Switch, and Xbox Series. So to some, they will do early release. They will wait 6 months to a year, and then once it's good to go, they'll release it on basically all the platforms. Want to just take a look at the trailer real quick, just so people remember what I was talking about?
Sure.
Yeah. And Magnolia. This game looks another game that looks incredible with art that almost rivals Vanillaware, in my opinion. Yeah, it's just a gorgeous looking game. Not as extensive as a Vanillaware game, to be sure, but also doesn't take as many years to come out with a game. Yeah, so
That's
beautiful music, beautiful art, beautiful story. I couldn't recommend Ender Lilies enough to people. It was an extremely well-made game. So I'm really looking forward to this end of Magnolia, which is people keep saying it's a sequel, but I don't know if it's a true sequel or it's simply like a game in the same style and art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think sequel implies certain like continuity.
Yeah, kind of how Chrono Cross is not a sequel to Chrono Trigger, even though I'm sorry.
We're not going there. We're not going there.
Okay.
It's not a sequel, but it's a sequel, but it's not a sequel, but it's a sequel. They never made up their mind. Anyway, I'm sorry. I got Chrono triggered just now.
You did.
But
Oh dear.
anyways, this game is entering early access on the 25th again, and the full release should be sometime in 2024, although they did say that they could be in early release for as long as a full year, so that would take us into 2025, but they are expecting to full release this year. Now, here's the question that I want to raise with this particular game. Again, with like the way that they're doing business, I think is pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if more companies can take advantage of a similar structure. They're basically using early access as like playtesting slash like QA and whatnot, right? By having like the mass amount of people who are on Steam to basically test the game for you and give you feedback. And they have had some success doing something like this for Ender Lilies too. What I did notice is I don't think they did that for the other game, which didn't sell too well. So I think they might be coming back to form and be like, okay, maybe part of our success was because we did this early access, released it by piece, took a lot of feedback while we released it, changed it as we go. And then once we came off like a really good polished product, then we call it done. And all the meanwhile, people can play test it, however they like and give feedback. And these people are paying customers. Like they put money in to play this game to give the feedback. Right? That's the nature of the early access.
I'm a little bit torn on that practice because I mean QA tester is like typically a paid position. But I also understand that it's not something everybody can really do, but it's like,
yeah, I mean, if you're like a Bandai Namco, you're Square Enix, you have more than enough money to hire like 7 teams over.
Yeah, it's more, I'm fine with it, I guess, for an indie who's like still getting their feet under them. But eventually you would hope that would be something they would pay for.
Well, the other thing is just like there's QA.
But getting community involvement though would be nice, right?
Well, yeah, that's what I was about to get to. Like there's QA, which is quality, but then there's also like community feedback, like player feedback, which you can get at the same time.
And even Square Enix has done that with Octopath Traveler 1 and 2 even. So
did they?
Yeah, they did they did a demo and then they collected player feedback after the demo. And they used that to help them with balance. So yeah,
you know what they did with user feedbacks, Babylon something. Babylon.
Oh yeah, that if only let me tell you guys, if only the players had told them more truthfully about what graphics could have been improved.
Would you have recommended this game to your friends?
What a weird...
like Bouldergate.
How did that question even make it past QA? How did that make it past anybody?
I feel like they had to release some kind of questions, but they had to ask questions that don't insult people. Yeah. So they're like, how about if the graphics was a little better? Would you recommend this game? And they know exactly what's wrong with the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like the people who released the question probably had like guns pointed to their heads. Just
They were
release
probably going
anything.
through the motions at that point.
Yeah, at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Baldur's Gate 3 was in early access apparently. So there you go. That's like another thing that's a similar practice. I feel like there are so many things that these companies are doing right that they can maybe keep doing that. Like they're on the right path. People are receptive to this.
Yeah.
I don't know. Interesting to see.
Yeah,
what
I
comes out of
suppose,
these.
you know, if it helps the community feel like they've got hands on and can like affect the flow of it, I guess that's cool.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving along, we've got a side-scrolling action adventure from Izanagi Games and Acquire, speaking of Octopath Traveler, called Amedama, which will launch in early access soon via PC and Steam. The game follows Yushin, who was murdered and must shift from body to find the whereabouts of his younger sister, all within 7 days before his soul departs from the world.
Mhm.
Let's check out that trailer.
So this game is like Loop 8, but Loop 7.
Is that right?
Well, no, not quite. But
Wasn't there a...
you do replay the event again, and you make different meaningful choices and see if you can reach like a different conclusion. From what I understood as part of the game loop.
The visuals on this are pretty interesting. It looks kind of like PlayStation 1-ish.
It's got that pixely kind of
low poly. Yeah. That very heavily aliased look there. I kind of dig it. You know, and Acquire, they were the first ones to pioneer the HD 2D, and this is kind of
interesting.
What's that?
Is you said the exact same thing when you saw this before.
Did I?
You have seen this before. You said the exact same thing. If nothing else, it means Derek is consistent. Am I right?
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, I have no recollection of this. I am Gandalf, you know, going through Moria. I have no memory of this place.
So basically, long story short, for this game is that you play as a guy named Yushin, and you were murdered by a gang of people, and then your soul remained, but then you discover that you have the ability to like, you know, send your soul to like different bodies and process them. So you're basically jumping from soul body to body to try to find your little sister who's been kidnapped, and you're trying to figure out like who did all this to you and why. It's some kind of like a murder mystery thing, but the catch is you have to do it within 7 days.
Yeah, and I wonder
don't have time.
I wonder if that means that there's like a timer tied to this.
I wonder about that too. Like, how are you counting 7 days?
Or is it like by stage?
Yeah, I see. That's the thing that I'm not sure about. But I feel like it's pretty cool whenever they add like just a little bit of a sense of urgency to it. It's like, yeah, put a little bit. Speaking of fire, putting a little fire behind you, you know?
Yeah.
I think the game looks, it has a really unique aesthetic that I really dig. So I'm hoping you guys will find this to be a worthwhile investment of your time, especially coming from, I mean, this is basically an indie game that got a larger publisher. So don't think of this as being like an Acquire created game. This is just being published by Acquire.
Oh, it's published by Acquire.
Yeah,
okay.
It's very much an indie game.
All right.
Yeah. Kind of like another game that we'll talk about later that started off as just like a pure indie game and it got picked up by a larger publisher. And you know, this is a similar case.
Pretty wild that we're still have so many games ahead of us. I guess this is what happens when we skip a week, huh?
You know, sometimes we skip a week and it's fine. Other times we skip a week and we're like drowning. Yeah, this is that week. So early access for this game begins in March 22nd, which is, I think, not this weekend, but next weekend. So coming soon. Yeah. A demo is actually available already on Steam, just not the early access. But yeah, you want to try your hands on it, demo's already there.
Yeah. Awesome. All right.
Oh,
You're up next.
that was your line.
It was, but you know, I'll let
I got
have
you,
it.
buddy. Thank you. I was just so stoked about this game. Anyways, the next game that we have is coming from publisher and developer Spectra Entertainment. This announced the release date for their new strategy RPG called Dream Tactics. Join Nero and friends who will travel across Dreamwell in vanquishing evil pillows. They've taken
Evil
over
pillows.
evil pillows.
Oh my gosh.
It's taking over Dreamworld and putting the inhabitants in never-ending sleep, which sounds pretty good to me. I don't know. Like, I'd love to just never wake up. I don't.
Baku, do we need to have a heart to heart? You're my friend. Okay.
I don't want to die, but I just
Okay.
want to sleep.
Okay.
That's the difference.
You're very important to me, Baku. I just want you to know that. Okay. Let's check out Dream Tactics. Now, this is the trailer I picked out.
See, look at these evil pillow. Oh, and they're evil laughters.
Oh no.
I like this animated trailer. It's really cute.
Kind of gives new meaning to the phrase pillow fight, huh?
Oh, look at the feather that came out from stabbing the pillow.
Oh no, that's gory
Oh,
as
no.
heck, man. Do we need to mark this as you know, NSFW?
Oh no, not safe for life.
Oh, gore.
I like the graphics too. It's kind of cute. It's I don't know how to what to call this kind of. Where is this, like Game Boy Advance kind of?
It does have that little bit of
Right?
that look, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But also kind of that look of early, like PC, like early PC, like, you know, kind of like a Vampire Survivor, like that super simplistic kind of character look. Extra low pixel count.
Burn those pillows. Set them ablaze. It's a tactical RPG.
Oh. That's pretty cool, man.
That is one giant pillow. Is that a pillow with guns?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think this is a new like trailer too. So
That's
I've
some
not
pretty-
seen this before.
Pretty sick animation, that's for sure.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, you can't discount these like indie developers anymore. They've gotten a lot more. They're not like the indie developers from like 15 years ago.
No, certainly
Like,
not. And I have
yeah.
I have something else to show you, Baku, that I included on my own. You haven't seen this trailer yet either, but we have another indie that
You know what's crazy is that I actually saw that game way back before all this stuff. And
Me
then
too.
I kind of threw it in my back burner, and then recently all this stuff happened. We'll get to
Yeah,
it. We'll get
yeah,
to it.
yeah,
Anyways, so Dream Tactics is coming out on PC April 15th, so not far from now. On only for PC on Steam.
Alrighty. So we got this other one that was just announced. It's another very small outfit.
Tiny.
Yeah, you've probably never heard of them before. They've only made like 13 games in this series
Insignificant.
before. So NISA have announced the release date for The Legend of Heroes, Trails Through Daybreak, and is detailing the limited edition. For the uninitiated, this is the newest entry in Falcom's long-running Trails series of games to be released internationally. The game takes place about a year after the events of Trails into Reverie, and we have a trailer for this as well. Oh man, I have not seen a trailer for Daybreak yet.
Should you not look? Do you not want to look? Is this?
I
is this
think I can.
spoiler?
I think I could probably look. I don't know about everybody else. This is the start of a brand new arc.
I'm just gonna not remember this, so it's fine.
I mean, I don't think
will
it matters.
simply-
It's all new cast as far as I know. Okay, I might recognize one person, but I don't even know if that's.
It's
True or
trails.
not.
You will see people from other games.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sure that might eventually be the case. I've heard. I think that they changed up the battle system in this one. I'm kind
I
of
think
curious about
there's
what that looks like.
There's a little bit of action gameplay in Kuro.
Yeah.
It's not pure like turn-based. I don't know how that works. I never looked
Okay.
into it because I want to be pleasantly surprised when I play it.
So that was very. It didn't show off really anything, and I think we talked over all of the dialogue. So I still have no
We did.
idea what happened.
Yeah, I have
So,
no idea.
Cool. Mission
Sorry,
accomplished.
that spoiled the
I'm still-
entire series.
I still haven't seen the trailer.
Sorry, Martin No Magic. You now cannot play this series anymore. We have spoiled the entire series for you.
Oh man.
Good day, sir. You will not play a single game ever again.
But the thing is, that's not too terribly far removed from like certain parts of like the like Cold Steel series where like trailers would really have huge spoilers. So yeah, that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But hey, whatever. So yeah, this game is slated to come out officially in just 4 months. You have 4 months to catch up, everybody. Oh my god, I have 4 months to catch up. Okay, because I still have Reverie in front of me. All right, it's coming to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, the Nintendo Switch, and also PC. And the limited edition includes 2 art books, not just one, 2
Not
art
just
books,
one, 2. Yeah.
a physical and digital soundtrack. Thank
That's
you,
right.
thank you. A steel book, a business card case.
For reasons.
Sure. And a movie poster card set.
Mm.
A movie poster card set?
Yeah. So all the poster cards are done in the style of movie posters.
Huh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Interesting, right?
That's
With the
neat.
characters from the game.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
I can
pretty
dig
cool.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, there as of last time we checked, there's about 10% left of stock for that limited edition. So you might want to get on that after I've ordered mine.
I FOMO'd and I ordered it, even though I was complaining about ordering the limited edition for Reverie because I'm never going to play it.
You'll get there.
I
You
don't
will.
know why but by the time I get there, I could probably buy the limited edition for way less. Why am I pre-ordering?
No.
Why would I do that?
Line goes up, Baku. The line only goes up. You know, you get the limited edition, you know, later it's going to cost you like $400 because everybody
just
knows
don't buy
that
the
none of these
limited
ever sold.
Well, I just don't buy the limited edition. I mean, I
Nope.
just don't do it.
Nope. I mean, nope. That's what happens.
You know, I bought the limited edition for all the Trails games for no reason. I only play through one series.
Yeah.
I mean, one arc. I mean,
Did you play the
why?
third though? Did you?
no.
You didn't play Trails in
Oh
the Sky the
no,
third?
no, that's
Oh, you did?
That's the arc.
Okay,
I
okay,
played through
good,
the
good.
first. I played with all of Sky.
Okay.
That's it.
Let me tell you though. Zero and Azure, it's so good.
Crossbell.
It is so good.
Yeah,
buddy.
I've heard Crossbell's amazing,
Yeah.
but that's the thing. I could have stopped at Crossbell, but then I have all of Cold Steel,
Oh, you don't have to play Cold Steel.
but I have them. The point is, I spent money on them
I mean,
when I shouldn't have.
don't worry about playing through Cold Steel yet, buddy. Just focus on Crossbell because that is so good that when you're done, you'll probably have already started playing Cold Steel by the time you've come back to consciousness. Okay.
Anyways,
I mean, you'll probably want to wait until after you're done pursuing your next degree in waifu studies.
you know, I was just thinking, like you were saying, oh, you gotta catch up before July. I'm like, if I quit school and work tomorrow, can I realistically play through Crossbell and Cold Steel and Reverie and catch up by July?
You know what?
And I think the answer is no.
I think the answer is you've just come up with the concept of like a really cool YouTube series of vlogs.
But it requires me to quit my school and quit my job.
Yes.
Go big or go home. Am I right?
That's right, man.
Am I right,
Swing for
guys?
the fences. Yo, if you had one shot.
Oh my god. I don't want mom spaghetti. I'm good.
Okay. All right, go for it. You got
All right.
next.
I'm sorry. You guys know that we have love for small indies, and this is another such small indies. And I feel like we don't talk about this, and no one would ever hear about these games.
Oh, you're probably right.
So yeah. So during the latest Pokemon Presents, the Pokemon Company, I know you guys never heard of them, announced that they'll be releasing a new Pokemon game called Pokemon Legends ZA. Not a whole lot is known about this tiny little game at the moment, but it appears the game will take place in the Kalos region, where Pokemon X and Y took place. I feel like they skipped like the whole Black and White and the whole like Sun and Moon, because the last Legend game was on like Sinnoh, which I felt like is the fourth game.
I thought Pokemon Legends was like Arceus.
Arceus, yeah, and which is like Diamond.
Yeah,
and
that was
Pearl.
in the Sinnoh region. Yeah.
Yeah, in the Sinnoh region. Yeah. So, while the Pokemon Legends Arceus took the player back in time in the ancient Sinnoh region, it is unclear what era this game will actually take place. But judging by what we've seen so far, it doesn't appear that they will take people to the past again. Let's take a look at that quick trailer so that we can see what this game is about, or as much as we can see it anyhow. I am excited for more Pokemon Legends games. I really enjoyed Arceus. And this is not coming from like a Pokemon fan. This is just coming from like a gamer. I just enjoyed sneaking around.
I think that's not a coincidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just so
I
fun.
will hold my tongue though. Because part of I tend to get myself into a little bit of trouble when I talk about Pokemon.
Oh, why? Like who's getting mad at you for it?
I don't know. So there's Pokemon fans.
Mm-hmm.
And they like Pokemon exactly the way that it is and has always been.
Mm-hmm.
Arceus, rather, I think was kind of the kind of game that appeals to people who prefer a little bit more of that story-driven narrative, focus, a little bit more of that evolution of gameplay. Seeing Pokemon in the world, a little bit of that open world sort of environment. I've been asking for that sort of thing in Pokemon for ages, and in the past, people would get really angry with me.
Really?
So I mean, I don't know.
The thing that we just saw just now, like, is the reason why people are just memeing this game so hard and calling it Pokemon Pizza, because the city pizza. I thought it was amazing.
I mean, it could be Pokemon Midgar, though. I mean,
Pokemon Midgard, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I will say the story in the way of Arceus was actually pretty weak, but the gameplay was fantastic. Which is,
did it involve going to a bunch of different towns to defeat a bunch of gym leaders?
No.
To become a Pokemon Master?
No,
See,
not in Arceus.
At least it wasn't that again.
Okay, and this is just based on what
I've
heard.
Was there Team Rocket or some sort of similar like bad guy that just?
Yes.
Okay. And
yes,
and was it very formulaic?
That's a staple.
I just wanted something a little less formulaic. Is kind of what I'm coming to.
It's not a group of people, but only like 3 people. You know what I mean? Like Team Rocket's like an organization, right? It's like, no, this time it's just like there's 3 people that keeps getting in your way, but they're like joke characters that are just like kind of throwaway.
So it's basically Team Rocket. Okay.
Yeah, basically Team Rocket.
Team Rocket, but without like the semblance of having more
an entire organization.
Grunts.
Actually, wait, hold on. Is there? No, there isn't. There isn't. Yeah.
It's early enough in the timeline they haven't amassed a grunts yet.
Because I had to think about it. I'm like, no, there are two of indigenous villagers that are by the same theme of like the quote unquote Team Rocket, but they're not like an evil organization. They're just indigenous people with that has like a certain symbol that they use for their village,
Hmm.
and then those symbols became like the Team Rocket symbols for like in later generation, but they're like unrelated.
Gotcha.
It's weird how that worked out, but yeah.
Okay.
Anyhow, so yeah, no additional news on Pokemon Legends ZA. I wonder if that's even the final name. I just feel like maybe they're gonna have like an actual name later on. I think this is just a very bad name. I don't know.
Yeah, well, they
I don't know.
whatever. Let's move on to a game that I care about, guys.
Yes.
And this is one that I was this close to making a video about this game and a few others when I was looking up pixel based indie RPGs that I was hyped for. I just couldn't quite pull it together enough to really talk about, but this was one of them. And now they have been successfully kickstarted. So
Yay!
we're gonna talk a little bit about this little 2-player co-op indie RPG, action RPG that's coming to Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, Xbox, and Steam. It's called Godshard Chronicles.
Yes.
It's being developed by some people that Baku, I think you and I are a little bit familiar with. At least some people from Something Classic,
Yes.
from like Quartet and My Familiar are also working on this. It features a heroic and emotional story centered around 2 female mana knights. It has local co-op with a friend from beginning to end. Rich and melodic music by Noriyuki Iwadare and Shauno Isomura. Noriyuki Iwadare, by the way, for those of you who don't know that name off the top of your head. I mean, everybody who does know is probably going like, oh my God, Noriyuki Iwadare. But it's the dude who composed for Lunar, Grandia, Growlancer.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Some
How
solid
did they manage
A+.
to hire this guy?
I don't know, but he's working on this one too. It's gonna feature
they
some
know a guy.
hand-drawn anime cutscenes with voice acting and high-quality pixel art for a colorful and unique fantasy world. So,
Nice.
let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer here, so you guys can see what's going on here. Typically, I don't talk about stuff that's still in Kickstarter, but since it's been funded already, I'll consider this. Yeah.
Pretty.
Yeah.
So I have seen this game before.
Shh. Listen to music. You can talk again when we play the trailer again.
Oh my God.
I know. 2-player local co-op. Inspired by Lunar.
I feel like they've gotten a lot of art inspiration from the series.
Yep,
Can't
inspired
tell
by
me.
Mana. Oh, absolutely.
Can't tell me Mana series is not. Oh my God. If you didn't tell me this is an indie game, just show me like just this, I would have been like, are they doing like a Mana game? What? Dude, look at that. This is a freaking Mana game.
Doesn't
I'm
that
a
look
Mana
sick?
fan. I can tell immediately, like with that art style. Ooh, the voice acting.
Like that. Someone had to tell her. It's for the best.
The knighthood.
Oh
doesn't
wow, you couldn't be a
deserve to
bad guy.
harness the power of the god
You couldn't
god.
possibly.
You
be
don't
a
know
baddie.
that. You don't know that. It could be anybody.
He's a third co-op character. You didn't think that you can control another one.
Look at that. Hand drawn
That is so cool.
animation.
That is so cool.
I know, dude.
Theme song's quite nice too. I like how they managed to do the whole like you and Ken thing pretty well there.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
Player one, player two. I respect it.
All right. So, like I said, they have successfully met their funding for just delivering the game, but they do still have 3 more weeks of being up on Kickstarter. So go get in there and get some. If that was of interest to you, it might still be a ways off from like a full release, of course. But yeah, if you feel like being a supporter,
I had joined it already.
Did you really?
I think I did.
Whoa.
Yeah, some time ago. But then
Yeah.
sometimes I join these projects and then I'm just like completely forget that I joined them until they send me those like monthly emails like, oh yeah, I gave you money. What happened to it? This is one, oh boy, can I talk about this real quick before we
Sure.
move on to
Sure.
next section? Because I gotta pull this up here. I got a project update from a game called what is this even called? Gave the money so long ago. Hang on. It's called War of Azurd. ASHIRD. And this is supposed to be released in Q2, Q3 of 2024. I think I gave them money like 6-7 years ago.
It's called, what is it?
War of Azurd.
ASHIRD.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
I don't even remember what kind of game this is. I just saw it and I was like, oh yeah, that looks interesting. And then I like gave them money. Oh, it's like a tactical RPG.
Oh yeah,
of
this
sort.
this does look vaguely familiar too.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I completely forgot that this was the thing.
Yeah.
Because it's been so long and I've heard like no news. And I saw an update today, update number 44, telling me that they have improved on the game and added some new dialogue and such and such. And I'm like, oh, you're still a thing. I mean, good on you for still working on
Yeah.
it.
At least it
you
didn't just
know.
like fall off the face of the planet
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah, one of these days I gotta look back at all the like Kickstarter and just like try to see what happened to them. Some of them I know, like Aiden Chronicle, I know exactly what's happening to it. Like
Dude.
Penny Blood, I've been paid pretty close attention to whatever
Yes.
new things.
I want to
Some of
see.
these I have really forgotten.
I would watch a YouTube video, Baku, of your Kickstarters. Where are they now? like a behind the music, but it's just a follow up, just a status update of every game that you've ever kickstarted.
Kickstarted.
Yeah.
What about you? What happened to all the Kickstarters that you joined?
Well, one of them was Shenmue 3.
Okay. How was that? Did you?
One of them
Like-
was Aiden Chronicle, 100 Heroes.
And we know that game is going to be amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
I already know.
Anyway, I still haven't played Shenmue 3. I have it. It's still sitting in the special Kickstarter box.
I
haven't
sworn
played I haven't played Shenmue 2 yet though. So I gotta I just wanted to support. I was hyped.
I could have sworn that one of the game actually got released, but it just didn't look good at all. That I'm just like, you can keep the money. Like I don't want it.
Anyway.
I don't want to spend more time playing this. The sunk cost fallacy at this point.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Godshard looks freaking incredible. And I think
Does.
I'm gonna need to probably open my wallet for them as well.
Oof.
Looks like a lot of fun.
But worthy spending is worthy spending.
Yeah. I mean, last game I was that hyped for. Well,
Aiden Chronicles.
yeah.
For Kickstarter, anyways.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I kickstarted, and I should have kickstarted Sea of Stars.
Yeah,
but-
what was that game that you like really liked that we just saw the other day? That I was like, oh, you're gonna like this one.
Oh man, the one from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, and you were like, oh man, this is like my jam. Oh my god.
Was it? Wait, was it the one that I included? There was one that I included that you hadn't seen before.
I gotta look. You know what? I'll go look. Anyway, sorry. Let me talk about the next piece of news, and then
Because Secrets of Grindia was the one I talked about 2 weeks ago.
Oh no, not that one. But
Okay.
you were excited about that.
I was, yeah.
Yeah.
Bloomfield. Oh no. Oh
I'll figure it out.
Bloomfield. Bloomfield. Maybe that was it.
Bloomfield. Well, Bloomfield's one of them. That's
'Cause
the
that
one
was
that's
super
like
rad.
in the 80s and stuff
Yeah, yeah,
with like the boombox and everything.
yeah.
Yeah, that game looks really good. I'm super stoked for that. Yeah, I'll figure it out. But anyways,
all
let's
right.
move on to the next sets of news. Final segment, actually, it's close to final segment. Industry news.
Ba-ba-da-ba.
All right. Ba-ba-da-ba. All right, starting off the industry news, we've got the Pokemon Company again. You will find that there are a couple of Pokemon related news today. The Pokemon and Hatsune Miku collaboration called Project Voltage had actually just concluded with the last song released called Glorious Day by Vocaloid producer Eve. There were a total of 18 songs released, one for each of the types in Pokemon. Now, Vocaloid fans will be no stranger to these names: Dekonina, Michiam, Pinocchio P, and Cosmo. These are pretty like some OG like Vocaloid producers that have made some like the biggest hits in the genre, if you will. They were all part of the collaboration, along with a couple of newer like faces. So I thought it was like a pretty cool like passing the torch kind of moment with Pokemon. Each of the songs is really cool because they mix in like sound elements from the games, and like if you're a fan of the Pokemon series, you'll be able to pick out these little sounds and see how they have changed it and used it in their music for it to make sense. I thought they're all super unique and super what's the word, well thought out compositions. So definitely check them out. There are some accompanying illustrations. So being just a Miku fan, I just had to let everyone know that this had been a thing and is now complete. You don't have to wait for weekly releases anymore. All 18 songs are there. So yeah, please check out Pokemon Voltage.
All right.
Project Voltage.
So, based on what I can only assume was a misguided Google search, Toyota has decided that Pokemon fans want to ride Pokemon in real life. They've done some research on certain forums of the internet and determined that. Unfortunately, they got the Pokemon wrong because it's because the one that they chose to make rideable is in fact. Let me see. There's a button here. Is it this one? Yes. It's Miraidon. I don't know.
Miraidon, yeah.
Yeah. Which I mean, it looks like a motorcycle, right? You wouldn't download a motorcycle. You wouldn't pirate a motorcycle, would you? So here we go. You can now, if you have the right kind of money, you can ride a Pokemon IRL. Yeah, they've announced it.
Yeah.
It's Toyota Miraidon project, which will have them create a real motorcycle shaped ride like a rideable Miraidon from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Yay!
It's real.
It's real. It's a thing.
It's not April yet. This is real. This is not it is not April Fool's.
It could have been worse.
Is real. This is real, guys. Toyota is seriously about this.
Seriously though, I'd probably prefer, personally speaking, I would probably have preferred a like a Gyarados blow up like pool toy. That would be pretty sick. I would probably buy that. But this,
Yeah.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I don't know about this.
It not only looks like the worst Pokemon, but also the worst motorcycle.
Okay, so if Toyota made like a Miraidon themed motorcycle, I
Sure.
think that would be pretty cool. Or
Mhm.
or not a Miraidon, but the other one. I forgot what the other one is called.
don't know.
Yeah. The Miraidon's the purple one, then there's like a red one for Scarlet. But if they made like a themed motorcycle, I would have been like, oh, that's really cool. And Toyota's known to do that in Japan anyway. So this is They don't do that outside the country, but within the country they have done some like collaboration themed like vehicles, and they sold pretty well. But that
Toyota's
said,
like
this is different.
Toyota's like, I think our problem is that motorcycles just make our clients look too cool. How do we fix that? Okay.
Geez.
I mean, okay,
Yeah.
for real, that will appeal to somebody. They might be 13 right now, but eventually they might want that when they grow up.
Once Toyota is gone through all the proper testing and release, that child will be 18.
This seriously looks like a one-off though. I don't know, man. This looks
I don't know what they're going to do. I'm still waiting. There's not enough news for it, but they have announced that this is a real project.
it looks
called
like
the
it was
Toyota Miraidon project.
it looks to me like this was designed to be given away by Mr. Beast.
No, see, that's the prototype.
Okay.
That's the prototype.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they actually are they going to do, a small run? Like, what are they going to do, and how much is that thing going to cost? Because I can't
much?
imagine it being like inexpensive because of all the tooling.
I'm sure
like-
that okay, there's got to be some overlap between Pokemon Mega fans and Crypto Bros, and I think that's the market segment that Toyota is that's the segment that they're targeting here.
I think you're onto something.
Because that cannot be cheap. That has to be
That
like
cannot be cheap.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
A
despite
real-
appearances.
It's also the Pokemon tax. I mean, they're gonna get theirs too.
Oh my
so,
gosh,
you
yeah.
know. Woo.
Oh man. Yep, there's
Right.
going to be like 12 of those ever made, and they're all going to be like $3 million at least.
I'd love to see one on the open road. I would pay anything to see one, but not like ride the thing. I just wanted to see it.
How do you steer it?
Don't know. However you steer a motorcycle.
I don't even see
don't-
handlebars.
I think the real one would have the handlebar. It has to, right? Like that's just a safety thing. at this
You
point,
would
but-
think. You would hope. It's
So instead of having like the Miraidon head attached, it's just the helmet. So you just wear the helmet and you're like the head of the Miraidon.
you have to behead it
You
first.
you become the Miraidon.
You have
Okay?
to rip it off. Oh no. The steering wheel is just the tire that you're grabbing onto.
Oh no.
Okay, we have to move on. I told you guys, every time I talk about Pokemon, I'm gonna anger somebody who loves Pokemon. Let's move on.
They're writing an angry message right now. And as soon as we're done this video, the comment section opens, they're gonna paste it immediately.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, let's move on to something else that's not Pokemon related. Anime production studio PA Works announced that they will be creating the anime adaptation of the action farming game Sakuna of Rice and Ruin.
This is interesting.
There was a small teaser, but no actual animation was shown, so I didn't feel like it was worthwhile for us to look at. But pretty cool because an indie game got an anime adaptation. You know that we don't see that all the time, but
Especially one that did
yeah.
it did fairly well, but I don't think
Yeah.
it did gangbusters.
yeah, no, and that's the crazy thing for
And
me.
it
I'm just
happened
thinking
like 4 years
all
ago.
Things.
When did this?
Yes,
When did that
it
come
was.
out?
It was a while. It was during the pandemic. I'm pretty sure. Sakuna.
It came
Yeah.
out. Release date 2020, November of 2020.
Oh wow! Yeah, see, that was during the height of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. Like they've always wanted to do it, but then they couldn't. And now that like pandemic is kind of like subside more or
Yeah.
less, like
Yeah,
I don't know,
lockdown has
but-
been lifted and now
Yeah.
everything is flowing again.
I don't know who decided that this was a good idea to do it now, but it's cool and I kind of support it. I had never even played Sakuna.
Mhm.
I've heard that it's like a really like heartwarming kind of like situation. Like it's a feel good game when you play it. You know, that's what I've been told. Anyways, I have no idea. Don't at me, okay? I've never played a game, but it looks really good. The character design, everything looks really good. So I have no doubt that if they stay faithful to the story, they can make a pretty good anime, honestly. And I would love to see this trend happen more,
Yeah.
where we have more like quality interplay between anime and game, from anime to game, and from games to anime, especially indie games to
Yeah.
anime. I think that's freaking awesome.
That is super cool. Yeah. In a similar vein, Miyamoto announced via Twitter that Super Mario Bros. Movie is getting a sequel.
Hey,
pretty
of
sick.
course there is.
Yeah, I mean
Of
it was
course.
teased at the end of the
Of
original title. It was
course.
already teased, so we kind of assumed. But I mean, they did a pretty good job with the first one. I actually really enjoyed it. So you know, it's
Quite,
also
quite
gonna
the understatement
it's
there.
also going to be featuring mostly the same development staff. Is it still development staff when it's a CG movie, or is it like production staff?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of, yeah, little column A, little column B.
Yeah.
Nearly the same production team as the original, and it has an expected release date of April 3rd of 2026.
Worth the wait.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a ways away. Did they only just now greenlight it? I would have thought they would have greenlit it like after breaking like records in the box office, but maybe, I mean, then again, this is
Sonic
Nintendo
movie came out.
timeline.
Sonic movie came out first, right?
Yeah,
And then Mario's like, "Yo, we need that. We need that money there."
yeah. I'm just saying they're gonna have Sonic 4 out by the time Mario 2 comes out.
Please, Sega does not know how to count.
That's true.
Well, then, so I bet Sonic 4 is going to be released by Atlas. Just saying. It'll be a turn-based RPG.
You're probably right.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
I think didn't Sonic 4 come out on the Wii?
Did it?
I might be wrong. I might be thinking of Mega Man 9. I'm pretty sure though. Yeah, Sonic 4 was like broken up into like a few different episodes on Wii.
Oh, so it was released
on WiiWare. Yeah.
I didn't think it was an actual thing.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. I always thought it was just Sonic 3 and then just like whatever weird Sonic games that came out after that.
No, it was a really obscure re-release or releases in episodic nature on WiiWare back when that was a thing. Yeah.
Excuse to not know that one.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. We do have just a little bit of news from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And this one I truly recommend for everyone to take a watch, including Derek, because I don't think Derek's seen this. After we're done with this broadcast, please don't go immediately. But Nobuo Uematsu, as you all know, the famed producer behind many of the classics behind Final Fantasy, joined, I believe her name is Lauren Allred, and apologies for mispronouncing her name, perhaps. They actually appeared in this Japanese YouTube channel called The First Take. Derek, do you know what The First Take is?
In like the show?
Yeah, like the channel, the show,
No.
if you will.
No.
Okay. So I'm just going to assume that most people don't know what that is. But basically, they're a Japanese YouTube channel where they invite singers to perform a song recorded in one take. That's all you get. So that's why it's called The First Take. Whatever you see, that's the first take. And so if they do this, like, if they make any little mistakes, any little
It's gonna be in the
there's
final
no retake.
product,
It's in there. Yeah. Which is really interesting to see because sometimes they will make just tiny little mistakes, but I feel like that's what gives it that like real feel versus like a studio
human
record
feeling.
kind of deal.
Yeah.
Which I actually really enjoy.
Yeah.
But anyways, so they performed No Promises to Keep, which is the theme song to Final Fantasy Rebirth, on The First Take. And let me tell you, this doesn't often happen, but I might have been tearing up just a little bit from listening to it. The vocal was just so gorgeous. and all the accompanying music. It was just, I haven't even played a game. I have no emotional attachment to the song whatsoever. It's not like, oh, I'm hearing the song and these scenes are playing, it's messing with my head. No, just the fact that her vocal was just so good that like it got to me at an emotional level, and that does not happen all the time. So I'm singing crazy praises, but please check it out. There's a reason why she was chosen to sing the theme song, and I think they made the right choice. It's the first time I've heard this theme song, by the way. And holy crap, it just blew me away how good it was. So I think for people who have actually played a game, I think this would be especially meaningful. So please check out The First Take with Nobuo Uematsu and Lauren Allred. You can just search YouTube and it's probably already there. We can probably leave the link because it's a YouTube link. So hopefully YouTube's not going to shut us down again for sharing an unsafe link.
One
That's
might hope.
YouTube.
One might hope. All right. So,
All right.
Last but not least in industry news, not least in the least, I suppose.
In the slightest.
Right. Thank you so much. Legendary mangaka Akira Toriyama, creator of Dragon Ball Z, Slump, the character designer behind Dragon Quest and so many other properties that we love, countless, Chrono Trigger, Blue Dragon. He unfortunately passed away on the 1st of March, and about a week later was announced by his studio that had occurred. So I already put out a video talking about my experience with getting to know Akira Toriyama through his work, and kind of working through processing some of that on my own. If you want to know more about that, go check it out. But yeah, that it's just such a loss for the industry that I feel it wouldn't be right to not mention it during today's show, despite having also made a whole video talking about it. So, yeah, rest in peace, absolute legend. And that's two massive legends in just too short of a time. 2024 is shaping up to be a rough year.
Actually, 3.
Oh, really?
We'll talk about the third one maybe in a little bit. I didn't write into the script, but I can tell you. But let's just keep on this for now.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool that we at least got like Sandland basically done, because that will basically be like one of his like last like legacy work to remember him by. And Sandland is shaping up to be looking amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that they picked this like relatively obscure work that he has made in the past and like modernized it and turned it into like give it like a life of its own, For those who don't know, like Sandland was like a one shot that he wrote a long time ago. And mangaka typically would do these one shots, just like a short take, just to they
like
have
a short
this
story.
like
Yeah,
they have like a muse, and then they just want like an outlet, so they just draw like a short story. It's not going to be like a long sequel, whatever, a long series.
Yeah.
But then precisely because it is like a one shot, it's actually a good length for a game. And so I thought that was pretty neat that they had chosen that of many things that Toriyama had created in his lifetime that they could have chosen. They've chosen Sandland.
Yeah.
So it will be extra meaningful to see how that game turns out, and I think it's going to be a good one.
All right. So that about does it for the industry news. Unless, was there anything else you wanted to?
So I guess I'll mention this. Maybe less people know about this, but the voice actress for Maruko also passed away. Maruko is like a very like well-known like character. Maruko-chan is a very well-known character in Japanese like culture if you will. The anime never really got popular outside of Japan. It's very similar to Shinjan, where
Oh,
like it talks about like childhood and you know, but from a perspective of like a little girl.
yeah.
Kind of similar to Shinjan, but not quite. It's Shinjan, as you know, is more like rambunctious and just like
Mhm.
full of curiosity. Maruko-chan is like more what's the word, more internalizing things and just like viewing the world like as a little girl growing up kind of deal.
Yeah.
It's kind of a coming of age kind of situation, but just specifically focusing on childhood. But it is a classic orc in Japan, and the
Wow.
voice actress unfortunately passed away. Very similar age too to Toriyama in her early 60s. Very young,
Yeah.
actually, especially in Japanese standard. Because if you don't know, Japan has one of the longest life expectancy on the planet. So
Yeah.
yeah,
S-
so very unfortunate news. Yet another legend has passed. So
Wow.
yeah, in the voice acting world, she's absolute legend. Um, she will be missed.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that as well.
Yeah.
All right. Finally, I guess we do have some merch drops to talk about.
Yes, and I was kind of debating if I want to talk about this, but I decided why not? I'll let you guys know about this so you guys can make a decision whether or not you care enough about it. So, there's a company. Oh, I forgot to put down the company name. I think it's Wayo, who is putting together a Xenosaga um piano collection, is an arrangement album that's officially licensed by Bamco, with based on music from Yasunori Mitsuda. So it's based on music. I don't think he's actually involved, but it is a piano arrangement that's on Kickstarter, which is pretty cool. And the album is called Across the Cosmos. Let me see what, because I thought I had added the uh, excuse me, I thought I had added, oh, that Wayo Records. There you go. And they have a Kickstarter campaign, and the problem with this, and the reason why I wasn't sure if I want to talk about it yet, is because they didn't give us a link. I can't even put the link in, be like, here you go. Why don't you go take a look? Um, but it's supposed to open in 2 days on March 13th. So, if that sounds like something you would be interested in, just, maybe search it up in 2, 3 days. Again, it's called Across the Cosmos sorry, it's not Xenoblade, Xenosaga Piano Collection, from Wayo Records.
All right.
Yes.
So, rewinding just a moment here
Mhm.
to an earlier topic.
Rewind.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It looks like there may actually be something else. I'm not sure if this was an editorial decision or not,
Mhm.
but Falcom did tease a new entry in the Tokyo Xanadu
Oh yeah,
series.
100% editorial.
Okay. Okay. So
we know nothing about this thing other
yeah.
than it's coming.
Yeah.
Not
So
even a Japanese release date. Nothing.
yeah. So just all that to say that was something that it was teased, but we don't really know
Mhm.
anything about. So we will probably talk about that some other time.
Yeah, there's nothing for me to say other than it's Kyoto this time and not Tokyo. So I said maybe it's Kyoto Xanadu. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, just because it's the Tokyo Xanadu series. What if
All
it's
right.
Kyoto Xanadu? What if I was right and it's Kyoto Xanadu?
That would be
Will you buy me a soda if it's Kyoto Xanadu?
sure. All right. So I'll go ahead and move us along to our final section of the show, which is just responding to some super chats, which we actually got a super chat from Still Alive, who says they were the ones who left us the voicemail.
Oh,
So
well,
thank you so much, Still Alive, for
glad
the
to know that
voicemail
you are
and
still alive,
and for the super chat. Let's see. He also goes on to say the channel that I got the rental store idea was from Retrobird, by the way. So
okay,
yeah, because he didn't specify in the voicemail. So guys, go look up Retrobird if you're interested in more of that. And
yes.
it also got cut off, but I also finished Fire Emblem, GBA, Rygar on the NES, and Klonoa using that particular method. Which
Holy
is
crap, a lot of your messages got left out. Why?
well, part of it was edited down for time, just so we could address it really quickly. But then, yeah, the first part got pretty well cut off, though, unfortunately.
Okay.
So,
Mhm.
yeah, well, thank
Wow.
you so much, man.
Thank you, Still Alive. Appreciate you.
Yeah. So, guys, it has been a pleasure to stream for all of you tonight. If you enjoyed today's podcast, maybe consider subscribing or liking the podcast or leaving a review on whatever podcast platform that you enjoy us on, because we are available on iTunes, and it used to be Google Podcasts, but I guess that's gone now. So it's just YouTube podcasts, and Stitcher used to be a thing that we podcasted on, but that's gone now too. So Spotify, I guess, anywhere that you consume podcasts, yeah, signal boosting is always very much appreciated. And
Thank you.
we will hang out again, hopefully next week.
Yes.
But we'll see if, things go crazy or not. And we will talk to you then. Have a great night, everybody. Oh, and Baku, any final thoughts for the people back at home?
Final thoughts. They changed the line in Final Fantasy VII Remake 4 years later. Look it up. It's pretty interesting. I don't want to get into it, but just go look it up.
All right. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.